And I was just wondering, what kind of thoughts did you have this morning at the ceremony at Arlington when they did the ceremony? What kind of thoughts came up for you?
The thoughts that always come back to us time and time again is how this thing is still being covered up after 40 years. I mean, we know without doubt from the circumstances that it was a deliberate attack. Anyone who looks carefully at the details knows that it was deliberate, and that includes such people as Dean Rusk, as Secretary of State, and all of the heads of all of the intelligence organizations. But the word that gets out, we're still told time and time again that there were 15 investigations, 11 U.S. investigations, 5 congressional investigations, because an author in Florida wrote a book about that and said it on CNN and sends that claim to congressmen everywhere. But it is totally false, absolutely totally false. We have a letter from a Librarian of Congress that says there has never been a congressional investigation. And in fact, there's never been an American investigation into whether or not it was deliberate. But we're told that time and time again. That's the point that keeps arising in all of our minds every time this story comes up.
Now, Jim, your book, The Assault on the Liberty, is in its, how many printings so far?
There have been 12 printings so far.
12 printings, and how many
publishers?
And what kind of satisfaction is that giving you with respect to this whole business of a cover-up? At least you have gotten the story out. Does that give you some sense?
There is a lot of satisfaction in knowing that I have told the story in a way that is believable and persuasive to everybody that reads the book. I have not heard from anybody who has read the book and looked at the evidence who said, you're just a troublemaker. That's not true. The book will show almost anybody that reads it that this was a deliberate attack by a so-called ally, and that they and even elements of the United States have been covering it up for 40 years.
If you had a chance to go on national TV and talk to the American people, what would you tell them? What would you tell the American people?
Well, I've been on national TV a few times, and I did a 2-hour interview with Larry King a few years ago, and I told him basically what I just told you, that the evidence is totally persuasive. All you got to do is look at the evidence. Consider the fact that the Israelis claim that they came after the torpedo explosion. They came alongside immediately and offered help. Every man on the ship will tell you that there was another 40 minutes after the torpedo explosion, and that they attacked us machine gunning anything that moved for 40 minutes, and then they left for 45 minutes or an hour, came back. In the meantime, they machine gunned our life rafts in the water, and the pilots, while they were attacking, were radioing their headquarters that this is an American ship. But the Israeli side keeps publishing falsehoods, keeps publishing the big lie that this has been investigated again and again, and those people that tell us are just conspiracy theorists and they're not to be believed. And that makes me and everybody who knows the story angry.
Do you have any hope that in your lifetime that this Congress or the next Congress is going to do anything about this, having a full public hearing, a full inquiry?
I don't really see that happening, but we can't stop asking for it. And the only realistic thing we can ask for is look at the facts, look at the truth, ask us the questions. One interesting element of that, for instance, there was a man in Minnesota a few years ago who read my book and said, can this possibly be true? And he spent $30,000. He's a government employee. He wasn't made of money. He spent $30,000 of his own money tracking down the original documents to see if, is Ennes telling the truth, was this attack deliberate? And he concluded that the attack was deliberate. And then he applied to the government under the Freedom of Information Act to get his money back, and the government had to give him back the $30,000. So that kind of proves things itself, don't you think?
Thanks a lot, Jim, and God bless.
Thank you very much.